gone. Lickety shit gone. Lickety shit gone. Rhino2 Podcast. Welcome to the podcast. What's today's date? I don't know. Early June here. June 3rd, 2025. Welcome to the podcast. The New York Knickerbockers. The New York Knickerbockers, who, I don't know, a couple Fridays ago, I mean, the whole city was shut down. I thought they won the championship a couple weeks ago. There are people jumping on fire trucks, climbing up billboards in Times Square. It's parades every day. A whole week we had parades, but they not. Oh, that was. I'm sorry. That was the Eastern Conference semifinal they were celebrating. That was the semifinal they were celebrating. That wasn't the NBA championship. Well, my fault. I thought all these morons were celebrating a championship. The Indiana Pacers are going to the NBA Finals to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Pacers Thunder NBA Championship kicks off Thursday. Tomorrow night, Wednesday, we have the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers in a rematch of last year's Stanley Cup, which I actually enjoyed a ton. Here we go. Okay, where are we starting with? I mean, we might as well start with the Knickerbockers. What did I think? I think Indiana's the much better team. Okay, they're good. The Pacers are legit good. I said it all year. For whatever reason, I watched a lot of Indiana this year. I mean, I watched a lot of basketball this year. But for what I watched a good amount of Indiana. I mean, I got all the whatever game I want to. I can watch all the games. All right, I can watch all the games. All right, I can watch all. Yeah, okay, sweetheart. I can't bring you out to a 5-star restaurant. All right, we're not staying at the Four Seasons. We're not doing 3-day weekends in the Hamptons. Okay, but if you want to watch the Pacers and the Bucks, an out-of-market game on a Monday night in February, come over to my house. Okay. I got home and road broadcast. We could even watch it in Espanol. All right? Watched a lot of Indiana this year. And I liked what I saw with them. I like how they play. I think they're one of the best coached teams in basketball. You see it, it's like, one thing I like about Indiana, the second they get the ball off a rebound, they're just looking to push immediately. And I knew that was going to cut. I knew that would kill the Knicks, all right? Karl Anthony Towns, everyone talks about him as being this, and he's a talented player, you know, but he can't get up and down the court fast. You know, he's too heavy. It's like even when he plays out on the perimeter, he can't go up and down like Siakam can. You know, Obi Toppin impressed me in this series. I just knew it was a nightmare for the Knicks, and the Pacers were favored in this. The Knicks were favored in this series, so they deserve to win. Kudos to them. Obviously, the one that's going to hurt the Knicks is that first game where they're up like 17 points with like 4 minutes left. But, hey, that's how it goes. All right, Timothy Chalamet, Kylie Jenner, Ben Stiller, enjoy your summer. All right? That's another thing I couldn't stand. All these douchebags they need a show at these Knicks games sitting courtside. It's like, oh, my God, I don't give a shit that Ben Stiller and fucking – you know, Bobby Bacala are, like, sitting courtside. I mean, it's, like, funny to see them when you, like, go to the games and stuff, but it's like, do we really need to just keep showing them night in and night out? You know, I know we were talking about this last week, but good riddance. I'm glad they lost, and, yeah, it makes it more fun. It makes it more fun the Knicks lost. You know, everyone coming up to me, people I hardly know, coming up to me and giving me shit when the Knicks beat the Celtics. And, hey, the Knicks deserve to beat the Celtics, okay? I'll tell them that. You know, but the way they were just acting like they were, like, cruising to a championship, I'm like, you know, the day after the Knicks beat the Celtics, maybe 2 days, I was taking a walk around my neighborhood, and I was listening to this dude on the phone talking about how the Knicks match up with the Oklahoma City Thunder. I wasn't going to interrupt them, you know. I wasn't going to interrupt them. But, yeah, no match for Indiana. The Knicks lose 2 years in a row to the Pacers. Now, granted, this was the furthest they went in, 25 years or something like that. So, I mean, they'll be back next year. What are they going to do? I'd imagine they're going to go out, try to get Giannis. Okay, that's actually what they're definitely going to do. They'll try to get Giannis, try to lure him away from the Milwaukee Bucks. But other than that, yeah, season over for the Knickerbockers. I mean, they have practically the same team next year. They're not losing anybody, you know, but they ask so much out of these guys, you know. They're asking so much out of all these guys. Like, The Knicks, it's like, yeah, they're really good. They obviously got to make moves. They can't stay exactly the same. They were close to coming to the finals. I mean, if a couple things go differently, they could have beat Indiana in this series. But regardless of who came out of the West, the Knicks weren't going to beat them, you'd imagine. But we'll see. We'll see. No Timothy Chalamet. No Kylie Jenner. And another thing, too, I'm tired of. Can we stop talking? Everyone, the ratings are going to be terrible. The ratings it's Indiana and Oklahoma City. Since when did everybody become a television executive all of a sudden? I'm listening to, morons I know. Kids I know who do coke are whining the Knicks lost, and they're yelling about TV ratings? Dude, are you kidding me right now? You have 7 roommates right now. What are you complaining about television ratings for right now? Oh, the ratings are going to be down. The ratings are going to be down. Okay. Oh, what are you worried about? Are you worried about advertising dollars coming in from Kia? Listening to people. You want to know why ratings are down in the NBA? You want to know why a lot of people talked about why ratings weren't good in the NBA this year? Because the NBA sucks. Okay, the league sucks. They say the game's going to start at 8 o'clock. It starts at 8:17 every night. Okay. The games don't start on time. There's a million television breaks. They challenge every single play under 4 minutes. The league sucks for a lot of reasons. It's not because Oklahoma City and Indiana are in it. Listen, I'm going to watch the finals the same way I usually do. All right? Not when it was the Celtics, it was like I was going home and planning everything. I'll watch it while I'm out, But I'm like, enough with the TV ratings talk. Speaking of television, Inside the NBA wrapped up on TNT, RIP. Last couple days, I've been watching just old highlights from the show. When they sent the Pelicans to Galveston, Texas, Charles Barkley making fun of women from San Antonio, yada, yada, yada. Apparently, the show's going to move to ESPN. No doubt in my mind, the quality is going to go down the tank. That's what ESPN usually does. I mean, are they even going to be able to, show... They keep saying, I don't know if they're going to do it on TNT, or they say, all the TNT people are going to be there and stuff, but they can't show highlights and stuff. I watched Charles Barkley's interview on Dan Patrick yesterday. Who knows what it's going to be, but it's not going to be the same. Okay, I'll tell you that much. Everything, I mean, what are they going to do? Be forcing Stephen A. Smith and all these other morons on the show? So RIP to Inside the NBA, probably the best sports coverage show, certainly in my lifetime. Man, I've been watching them easily for 20 years. Yeah, I mean, I just think of Craig Sager, who was awesome. Kevin Holland, who, I've said for years, Kevin Holland, I mean, he's great at calling basketball. I think he's one of the best football announcers alive today. Kevin Holland's incredible. All those guys. I mean, you just see the quality of the difference when games are on TNT versus ESPN. The quality is, the halftime show, pregame, postgame, how much better it is. Whether it be during the season or during the postseason, how much better it is. I mean, it's not even close, so RIP, and I mean, what a great show. It's the only show, Inside the NBA is probably the only sports show like that. What is it, a sports coverage show, whatever the proper term is, that I'll watch the next day to see what they have to say about the games. Now, there's other shows I'll watch, but I won't intentionally tune into that. But as far as a national show, I'm not tuning in to see what Stephen A. Smith thought of last night's Denver Clippers game. You know what I mean? That, no way. But with TNT, I would always, that's another thing, too. Their app, TNT, I like how you could play it on HBO, the TNT app, TBS, whatever. I loved how it just played. ESPN, the ESPN app has sucked since the thing's come out. Every time I go, and I subscribe to ESPN. I have ESPN Plus, ESPN3. I have the full ESPN package. The thing that sucks with ESPN is I have to click on it 3 times because it says I'm not a subscriber, even though I pay for it every single month out of my bank account. But it always does that, and I'm not the only one. The apps suck. TNT, I've never had a problem with TNT's advertisement app. Never. And I like how you can just put it on HBO. You just leave it running. Live sports. Click on it. It just runs. So we'll see. Obviously, those guys were the best. Yeah, it's just a shame. Like in the date and time of everyone trying to make a viral clip, I just have a hard time believing that ESPN's going to do the right thing with this show. Because, I mean, let's face it. What shows does ESPN have that people watch? I watch Pat McAfee. I like Pat McAfee. Now, I don't watch the whole 3-hour show because I don't have time every morning. I have a life. But when it's on, I'll watch it, especially when they have athletes and players on and stuff. And it's really just Late Night Sports Center with Scott Van Pelt. That's the only thing I'll watch on ESPN. Obviously, if there's a game on there, I'll watch it. The NFL shows, I never watched the NFL shows on ESPN anymore. And as a child, a teenager, even into, I guess even into my early 20s a little bit, I used to watch everything ESPN put out for the NFL. No, I just don't now. It's terrible now. It's terrible. It's just the network is just. I mean, this is definitely the worst ESPN's ever been. Everyone sucks on the. I mean, honest. Let's face it, ESPN. I mean, how do you watch like SportsCenter, a regular SportsCenter, a daytime show? PTI obviously is. It's good. I don't watch it anymore, but if it were to pop on and I'm home, I'll watch part of the interruption, but just because of the time of the day, I don't watch it anymore. But everything else, their random sports centers, terrible. ESPN News, I mean, oh my God. ESPN News. ESPN was just better when they were replaying Sports Center, and there was like one version of it every like 6 hours. It honestly was. Now they're like way too in tune with shit, and so we'll see. I mean, hopefully I'm wrong. I hope they nail it, and I can, we just keep watching Inside the NBA the way we have been for these last few years. But other than that, RIP to NBA on TNT. Truly an end of an era. I mean, definitely my whole life watching basketball, it was always TNT with the big games and stuff like that. So RIP to them. We'll see what else is going on. What else do we got? What else do I have written down on here? Scotty Scheffler, dominant once again. I mean, am I having deja vu? Because it seems every week I come onto this podcast and I just talk about Scotty Scheffler winning by 4 or 5 strokes. This dude is, he's nails out there. He looks like he's not even worried about stuff. He's just going out there fucking... he had one bogey all weekend at Memorial. That's a course that's supposed to be hard. They put way more money up, which based off Jack Nicklaus, I only read the excerpts. I didn't watch Jack Nicklaus's full interview after the tournament. He's pretty disappointed. He was pretty disappointed. Pretty much everyone wasn't there. Rory wasn't there. A lot of these guys weren't there. They made it more money to attract a lot of these guys, and they didn't show up. But Scheffler, oh my God, dude. I saw he had that one bogey on Sunday, and then I'm like, every time he has to putt, and it's like within like 12, 15 feet, I'm like, this dude's just going to nail it. And he did. So shout out to Scotty Scheff. He's a fucking beast. What else do I got written down here? What else do we got? Yeah, just about TNT, man. Just about TNT. Man, I still, it's, man, so NBA next year is going to be on what? Amazon, NBC, and ESPN. ESPN's the lousiest of really the NBA providers now. Everything just turns into like streaming in a way that's like way too much. Now, as far as streaming on Amazon goes, I actually like Amazon's streaming for football and things like that. Have I watched any other sports on Amazon? No, I think the only thing I've really watched on there is football. I like how you could rewind on there. As long as they do what they do with the Thursday Night Football broadcast, I think it'll be really good. Not even the broadcast, as far as the app goes. But again, so now you got to subscribe to Amazon, ESPN, all this stuff, and it's like, damn, dude, how much shit do you gotta, We'll see what it is. Other than that, what else is going on? I have a good article I want to read here. I found this New York Post on the train the other day. Shout out to my boy Chris Kosa. I could read his address too, but I'm not going to do that. I was riding the train the other day on Saturday, and I found a fresh post there. Got this right here. Here's a nice picture of Livy Dunn. We're not reading about Livy Dunn, though. It's not going to be no reading of Livy Dunn. We got a Cabbie Code Yellow. That's the name of the article. Cabbie Code Yellow, posing as a hack. That's what a lawsuit is saying. I'm going to read this article by Peter Senzamicki. I don't know. Let's bust this article down, and we're going to talk about it after. Maybe we'll talk about it as we go through. Here's our news article of the week, brought to you by Chris Kosa, who left his New York Post on the train the other day. He's a real fake hack. A former New York City cabbie whose license was suspended more than a decade ago has been posing as a taxi driver using his little yellow Toyota, the Post has learned. City Taxi and Limousine Condition is now fighting to permanently seize George Caraballo's 2013 Prius due to his repeated violations, public records show. In the last 6 months, Caraballo has been dinged twice by City for posing as an official yellow medallion driver, according to a civil lawsuit filed by the TLC on Thursday. In fact, Caraballo's second violation came only 2 weeks after the hack driver pleaded guilty to the first, the Manhattan Supreme Court filing states. Okay, so here we have a guy pretending to be a cab driver. He gets caught once, doesn't care, gets caught again next week. Why should he care? We're in New York here, okay? Aren't you allowed to break the law in New York? It doesn't really matter. A TLC inspector first watched him drive his yellow hybrid hatchback to pick up. This is what I need to see, his yellow hybrid hatchback. So can I see what his car looks like? I'm gonna look. Let's look up George Caraballo taxi. Let's see what it looks like. It probably just looks like a regular cab, right? Yeah, they don't have any. They just have regular. They just have all things. $26 ride in November. Unfortunately for Caraballo, his fare was dwarfed by the $1,500 violation that night for operating a hire vehicle that's not licensed by the TLC. Fuck you, honestly. Why don't they go bother all the people outside of LaGuardia and fucking JFK? 15-year-old April 8th, he picked up a group of four in front of the iconic New Yorker hotel near Penn Station for an $18 fare under the eye of the TLC inspector. The knockoff, yada, yada. During his second stint before the city of Okay, so this guy's just going out here. A danger to the public. That's what the TLC's calling him? A danger to the public? For what? How the hell is he a danger to the public? Caraballo apparently pulled the same stunt with a different car in 2020. Evidence of the respondent's flagrant disregard for the rules, the TLC lawyer said, calling the driver a danger to the public. His representative, Joseph Schiffo, a non-lawyer who has been repping livery drivers in administrative court for more than 40 years, argued that the Prius is set up as a yellow cab because it operates legitimately as a taxi in Rockland County. Hearing officer Patricia Cardoso found the TLC had failed to show that keeping Caraballo's ride was necessary to protect the public in order that he get a vehicle back after paying a $2,000 fine, which he has since done. George, I gotta find this George Caraballo guy. I gotta get him on the podcast. Honestly, is what it seems like. Who gives a shit? Who gives this gypsy cabs? I remember, Uber drive. Who cares? Who cares? So why does this guy need to pay the TLC? I remember I had an Uber driver. This had to have been like, I don't know. I was bartending. It was probably 2017, 2018. I took a cab from downtown Boston to Southie, and it was this Puerto Rican dude, and we were, like, talking, and he was telling me, dead serious, how he just did 20 years in Puerto Rico for killing somebody, and he was driving Uber. And I wasn't really freaked. I was laughing. I was dying laughing because he was dead serious. Like, oh, this guy's not even fucking with me. You know what I mean? And he was like all like religious now. And, listen, I'm not hating. I'm not saying people can't be rehabilitated. But the reason I was laughing, I was like, Uber just doesn't check you. And he's like, we don't have like records like that in Puerto Rico coming to America. That's what this guy was telling me after he killed somebody in like some gang shit. It wasn't like he like killed some innocent person. Not saying the person didn't deserve it, but from what was explained to me, or at least what's remembering, I just remember, like, the guy kind of, He signed up for that. But my whole point being is, I'm like, these fucking Uber drivers and cab drivers are all lunatics. And this guy, George Caraballo, he's just going out there. Why can't you set up your own car and just pick people up for rides? Why can't you? You know, if I want to buy a car today, I mean, people give you gas money when you're all going to, I don't know, if you're all driving around, you give your friends gas money. So what's the difference with this? He's driving people around. You should be allowed to do that. I don't think you should need a special license. You know, granted, I don't think you should be an axe murderer neither, but, you know, you should be able to do what you want with your car. So shout out to George Caraballo, all right? Shout out to him. Is there anything else nonsense? I don't know, just typical stuff. Colombia, students, and Hamas, I mean, they're practically the same thing. Joe Biden's brain doesn't work, the usual New York Post stuff. Linda McMahon, feds will sue Massapequa to keep its Chiefs mascot. Okay, who the hell knows what's going on? The Red Sox. I mean, more of the same with the Red Sox, huh? What'd they do? They lost 2 out of 3. They won 2 out of 3 against the Braves. Then lost to Anaheim last night. I mean, the Red Sox, sub 500 baseball, more of the same. Is anything changing with them? Is anything changing with the Red Sox? I mean, they said all last week that Christian Campbell was going to play first base. Unless he played first base against the Angels last night. Let me see last night. I don't know who I didn't watch the Red Sox at all last night. I just looked at the score. I was out in these streets. They said Christian Campbell was going to play first last night. Romy Gonzalez played first base. Beautiful. Good old Romy Gonzalez. I mean, do the Red Sox have any do they know what they're doing, the Red Sox? You know, I know they say stuff, but do they actually know what they're doing? Do they have any idea of what they're doing? That's a better way to put it. Do the Red Sox have a plan? You know, because it really seems like they don't. It really seems like the Red Sox don't have a plan at all. It's just dysfunction with this team. You know, more of the same. Just dysfunction. I watched Sunday's game. I watched Sunday's game against Atlanta. Crochet, I mean, he has such great stuff, you know. He went out there. He was dealing. Sox held on to a win in Atlanta against another underachieving team, too, the Braves. How about the Braves? The Braves have a new stadium. They just don't play at Turner Field anymore. I never thought of Turner Field as like an old stadium because I don't think it was, and they already have a new stadium. Other than that, Belmont Stakes came out. Belmont Stakes draw came out. We're going to have a full Belmont preview on Friday. All right, Friday's show, we got the whole Belmont preview. You know who we're pulling for on this program. Journalism. We're pulling for journalism on this program, all right? This is an anti-Godolphin, anti-Sovereignty, and I have no problem with Sovereignty the horse. He's a great animal. I love him. My problem is with management. It's Godolphin, okay? They're everything wrong with sports. They're everything wrong with horse racing. No love for Godolphin on this podcast, okay? None, all right? And I like Bernardini a lot, okay? We have the Belmont draw. We had it yesterday. I actually watched it on television. But post positions in morning line for the Belmont. We have Hill Road running out of the first, 10-1. Sovereignty, the Kentucky Derby winner, who famously sat out of the Preakness, robbing the fans of a Triple Crown and a great battle against journalism, another heavyweight, comes in at 2-1. 2-1 favorite. Actually, not the favorite on this. Rodriguez, who won the Wood Memorial. Rodriguez, interesting horse. I said he's been a little banged up. Bob Baffert horse with Mike Smith. Deadly combination right there. 6-1. Uncaged. He's running 431. Crudo by Justify. Triple Crown winner right here. 15-1. Beza. Or Baeza, however you say it. I like Beza. 4-1. If Beza gets up to, well, we'll talk about that. We got to see how these odds are going to come play out. Beza at 6. Number 7, Son of Curlin, Journalism by Mike McCarthy, written by Umberto Rispoli, who ran an amazing Preakness. 8-5 morning line favorite. And the 8 horse, who I was reading about the other day, Heart of Honor. 30-1 coming in. So we'll have the Belmont Stakes preview on Friday. Shaping up to be a good one. We'll see. We're gonna see that. I can't wait for the Belmont. All right. Obviously, it's a 1.25 miles, something I don't like. All right. I really don't like how it's a 1.25 miles. I mean, they make this poor excuse at Saratoga that they can't run this race a 1.5 miles, which is total bullshit. I mean, let's call it what it is. You can't have 8 horses run a 1.5 miles at Saratoga. Okay. Yeah. Because of the turns or the gates or whatever propaganda they put out there. Give me a break. Give me a fucking break. For the money that's wagered on that, if they wanted to, if it was an actual issue that they couldn't do that, which I'm not buying, you can't tell me they couldn't move the fence or adjust the track for that. You're not going to sit here and tell me that. No way, Jose. But nevertheless, we'll be watching. Well, I'll be watching. I'll be on the street. I'll be working, but I'm going to pop into the bar room for that one. I'm going to make sure it's on television. So we got that one. Very excited for the Belmont. I can't wait for it to actually get down and be back to a 1.5 miles at the old Big Sandy, the old Oval in Elmont, New York next year where it returns. And also 2027, the Breeders' Cup will be at the new Belmont Park. So, yeah, we have that. 2027 of that. Patriots news, Stephon Diggs, he got back out there. Looks like he got off the boat. Returned to Foxborough. So, other than that, what else was there? I don't know. I watched Josh McDaniels' press conference yesterday. Really not too much there as far as being super interesting or crazy or anything like that. You got all that stuff. Yeah. That's really just that. Kind of a slow week, all right? We got OKC. We got Indiana. They're kicking off the NBA Finals Thursday night. Okay, what are they saying? 8:30 p.m.? Game's going to be in Oklahoma City. Let me see. 8:30 p.m. Is that the official tip for Thursday? Let's go to NBA here. $8:30 p.m. Oklahoma City's a 9.5-point favorite. Okay, I'm going to say 8:42. The tip-off is. I'm going to say 8:42. I'm going to say they start about 12 minutes late. What are you guys saying? I'm going to go 12 minutes for the NBA Finals. 12 minutes late. 8:42. It'll start. ESPN will be promoting, I don't know, what, Peyton Manning's fucking boot camp or something. Whatever these people are doing. So we got that. Other than that, that's pretty much the podcast. I'll be back here Friday with whatever else is going on. Thanks for listening, liking, sharing. Hope you guys have a great week. I'll be back here Friday. We're going to have Belmont Steak Show, talking more about the NBA, more about the NFL, things of that nature. I'm out of here. Love you guys. Peace out. Mwah.